Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and we're going to do something a little bit fun tonight. I'm going to be working on a couple of knives, and I've had these sitting around waiting to go onto a knife, and I've got my tools out. I'm going to be tinkering with some stuff, so I figured it was the right time to go ahead and give them a shot. This is a set of Cerberus scales for the Para3. These are skinny Para3 scales, which I have never tried yet. I have on this Para3, this is my Maximet Para3, which I've had, one of my early reviews on the channel was kind of a long-term already of this knife because I'd had it for a while when I started the channel. But I've had this Maximet Para3 for a long time. It's definitely the longest owned Para3 that I've had because I've had like 10 before this. I think I've had one or two while I've had this, but this has been the one that has stuck around. I love this knife. It is my forever Para3, if you will. I love Maximet. For the Para3, it is the steel that I choose. I adore it on this platform. So, yeah, right now, these are actually Cerberus scales as well. These are the Worker 3 scales, which have kind of a Strider type ergonomic sensation to them. Kind of like between an S&G and a PT, frankly. They're a little bit bigger than a PT would be, but kind of smaller than an S&G, I think. Anyways, I've liked these a lot. These have been on here now for a good few months. Before this, I had some Rips Garage Tech. They were blue denim micarta scales that were not skinny scales. They were the same profile as a regular scale, and that was the first scale swap I did on this Para3. Before that, it was just in the gray factory scales, the G10. So this will be my first time going skinny on a Para3, and I've handled a skinny Para3 once or twice. I've always thought they feel really good in hand, but I just haven't had one of my own yet to kind of put through my paces and see how I like it. So the last time that I was hanging out with Chris from Cerberus, he's become a buddy. He gave me these to install and review and check out and keep. So I appreciate that of him. These are the fish scale pattern, which should add some cool extra texture to them. And then these actually have an inlaid little like burgundy micarta pivot collar. They're like pressed in, I guess, is how he did that. It is sweet if you look at that. So I'm really excited about that feature. I don't know how he had extras of these after a drop, because I would think these would have gone crazy for him. Having a pivot collar integrated into the micarta is pretty sweet. You don't see a lot of Para3s with pivot collars, especially in micarta. So I'm going to keep all the hardware the same. This has Flytanium, kind of bronzed titanium hardware, and barrel spacer on it, or not barrel spacer, lanyard tube, and I guess actually the barrel spacer is as well, but all bronze finished titanium hardware. And then this is a lynch clip that has been on this Para3, I think, in every build I've ever done on it, so it's got some wear on it, and I just like having this clip on my Para3 still. I think it'll look great on this build too. So we're going to keep all the hardware and components the same, but these Cerberus Worker 3 scales are going to come off for the first time in a long time, and we're going to switch to the skinny scales, and then I'll leave it that way at least for a while. We'll see if it ends up staying that way permanently. Maybe I'll come back to these eventually, but I'm excited to try that out, and I'll probably do a review on the knife with those on it once I've carried it a bit and felt it out for a while. So we're going to go ahead and flip the camera around and put this knife on the work mat and get wrenching on it. So here we go. All right, so here we are on the work mat. We've got the scales we need. Everything else we need is already in or on the knife. I believe on this set, I've got T8 here, T8 here. Just the clip screws are going to be T6s, so let me pull those off right now real quick. Oh, that's funny. I had my T8 off the table. My T6 is already here. T6 clip screw. There we go. That's 1. And 2. And 3. Sweet. The clip is off. I like to leave my clip screws in there, if you can see that, so that when I set the clip on the new scales, I can just wiggle it right into place and leave it there. All right, now I shouldn't need the T6 anymore until I'm putting the clip back on. Should just need the T8. Now, this lanyard tube is not press fit in. These aftermarket Flytanium ones are yeah, they're just kind of slotted the right size. They don't actually press in. So this should be much easier than getting factory scales off. Let's go ahead and just pull pivot screw I'm doing a full disassembly, so I'm just going to pull all the hardware out. I don't have a particular order at the moment. I'm just taking it apart. I don't think it really matters so much right now which order I go in, as long as this doesn't free spin. Oh, we got so lucky. All right, that does not free spin, and boom, that's all of the kind of hardware, if you will. Let's go ahead and start pulling her apart. Oh man, there we go. There's my little barrel. Ooh, that's a rookie move. All right, there's my pivot. And yeah, both my washers are still on here. Let's take those off. That pops right off. We might need to pull this one by the liner. Yeah, that easy. That is so much easier than a lot of these disassemblies often are. So we've got, all right, all of our hardware, that little pile there. We've got the liners there. These I am not going to be using for now. I'm obviously going to keep them because there's a decent chance they'll go back on. I have loved these scales. They're fantastic. But I'm going to set those there. One thing that's cool on these, I don't know how well it'll pick up, but if you look in here, he actually machines these internally with, there's an American flag over here. I've been to the shop where he machines these. It's here in Southern California. We've got the Cerberus logo. And then on these skinny scales, since Nick Maffey was the inventor of the skinny scales, he was the first person to do it, from what I understand. Chris over at Cerberus still kind of puts his logo and insignia in here, which is really, really cool. I think that's a nice touch. So very cool there. These are ready to go on. So this might be really quick. I'm hoping it is. It's normally assemblies and disassemblies on Spydercos are not this quick. All right, let's set these together. Sweet, that presses right into there. Nice and tight, but not difficult. And this one, again, presses in. This this liner has a little bit of like tension on it, and I think it was that way in even the factory scales. But I'm gonna set my stop pin in right there. I like to get that ready. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna take a little bit of KPL right now and just do these tiny little drips there. Set a washer on there, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the pivot. The D-shaped side is over here, so might have been better for me to do that one first, but I'm just gonna try to keep it in the right angle that I need it on. Can always pivot it a little bit afterwards, and I'm gonna toss a pivot screw into here. Start holding this side together. Pays to be a little ambidextrous here. All right, so that's on, but somewhat loose too. Might need to be a little looser, so I have the ability to spin that. Yeah, that should be good. All right, so that's on. Sweet. Let's actually, at the same time, go ahead and get this bad boy started on here. So this whole side of the knife will be held together for now. I like that these are T8 and T8 for the pivot and for the body screws. Make sure I'm going into that straight. That actually doesn't seem like it's right. I feel like I might be cross-threading that a tiny bit, so let's back that up. It might be the way it's going into this liner. Let me thread through the liner and then I'll thread onto this guy. There we go. That's going in flush now. All right. So this side is pretty much put together, other than the blade obviously being on it. Put a tiny bit of KPL here, and kind of up onto the actual pivot. Toss this guy on here. Oops, locked. Sweet. So that's now together. Let's take this guy and come on. Sweet. We're gonna hashtag smash that like button. Do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Smash that like button. You'll never catch me saying that unironically. All right. Sweet. So now we should be able to put a little KPL here and here. And heck, let's put a little kind of down in there. Toss this washer on. It shouldn't matter which way it goes, but let's just go that way. Cool. All right. And from here, I'm going to put a bit of KPL there and there. Sweet. And see if we line all up. Alright, I'm gonna need to push that down. I'm going to pull this off real quick. Oh, my stop pin was coming a little bit wonky. Oh, and that little D-shaped pivot. It's not quite lining up there. There we go. All right. Now the D-shaped pivot is lined up. Let's tighten that down a little so it stays right where it is. Let's see from there. All right. That should. Oh. It doesn't look like it's lined up anymore. What's weird is that this stop pin somehow moved a little, and it's not lining up with this spot anymore. wonder, there's something I can push on that with. I guess I can just kind of commit here. Oh man. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this side. I'm trying to get the stop pin out of here now. Come on, that was really stuck in there. There we go. All right. Let's try. And start the stop pin from this side now. Okay. That lines up. It doesn't though, does it? Now this scale is for some reason pushed. That's not good. Take this out of here. There we go. That's back in. Okay, so something had pinched up on here and that wasn't lining up. Okay, let's try this from the reverse side. Maybe we get lucky this time. So put that on here. Good. Now the D-shaped side is already in, so that's a good thing too, starting point wise. Let's press this in here. Here we go. Smashing that like button. All right. This one is in correctly. Okay. Take my pivot screw over here. Tighten this guy down. Good. All right, I think we're getting there this time. Let's put this body screw in. Sweet. Sweet. All right, we're tight there. Tight there. These are on. Okay. We'll worry about centering in a second. But they're on. These look awesome. I think this is like honey colored micarta, or maybe it's just natural micarta. I don't know, it has a really cool look to it. Those pivot collars are sweet. So now we just got to get the clip on and we'll be good. Let's see how we look too on centering. We're actually pretty close. Let's see. Oh, we're way too tight. Hold on. Loosen hair over here. A little bit of play. It's tight but centered. All right, I'll fiddle with that in a second. Let's get the clip on. It's gonna go right here. Let's hope everything lines up just right. Got my T6. Get these threads started. There we go. Great. All right. They're all in the proper spots. I just got to tighten them down. This is, of course, a Lynch Para3 clip. You can tell that it's Para3 specific because it's got a little cutout. Good, that's grabbing into the liner. It's tightening down so these screws are the right length, which is good. All right, the clip is on. Now, one of the reasons why I'm actually excited about these is because I'd kind of gotten used to it, but one of my gripes with the Para3 as a knife in general has been that even with the deep carry clip, it doesn't quite go all the way to the butt end of the knife because the lanyard tube is placed so stupidly, in my opinion. On these, as you can see, there was even more knife sticking out of your pocket because there's scale added in length on here. So I'm glad that now I have a Para3 that'll carry a little deeper again. Still not totally as deep carry as I'd like it to be, but better. So I'm gonna fidget with this action because obviously that is not right. I need to be able to middle finger flick this. Let's see if we can't get it right real quick. If not, I'll do it off camera and spend a bunch of time playing with it, but we'll see if it's a quick one. Not quite there yet. Nope. There is a little bit of play though. Let me see how close I am to being really tight on each side. Maybe one of them is much tighter than the other. Oh yeah, there we go. How are we? Just a hair off on centering. Centered, dropping. All right. Sometimes it's just that little bit of wiggle back and forth to get to where you're right. Let's see, huh? See if we got play. Oh, no, not play. All right, cool. It is assembled. So there you have it. I'll be doing a review once I've carried and used it in this setup a little bit. Right off the bat, I do like the way skinny scales feel, and I've known this from each time that I've had the opportunity to handle one just for a minute. But yeah, these feel good. I like that. So yeah, full review coming, but these are the Cerberus skinny fish scales, and these have the burgundy micarta pivot collar. I think it looks rad with this hardware color too. This build came out pretty sweet. So, sorry, I had to sneeze. So anyways, guys, thank you so much, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.